Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now I've made a few videos like this recently, going through the Garden of Salvation chests without any movement tech, except I've had a lot of comments talking about it being patched or the route is too difficult or finicky, so I'm going to make it an easy route, no checkpoint and nothing special. As you can see, I'm just running Hunter, 20 mobility, you can do this on any class, 20 mobility, I'm not running Eager Edge, no mountaintop, nothing like that. All I ask is that you go to your collections, go to heavy weapons and pick out any sword in the game. It does not matter which one as long as it swings. You want to use the green starting sword, that's completely fine. Another thing is we're going to be running Strand just for the grapple. If you don't have Strand you can also use stasis crystals, it'll be a lot slower though. And that is the only requirement, no Sparrow Tech, no Stompies, no Dune Marches, nothing else. So, going onto the moon. Garden of Salvation, it's at the top left. I'm going to clear my checkpoint because this is going to be from fresh. Once we load in, we're just going to quickly go to the portal in front of us and just kill all these ads just like normal. A lot of this is unchanged, but there are a few things that I'm going to be going over. Once we kill every ad, the portal's going to open. Like I was saying, there's a few things that people were struggling with, and I'm going to be going over those, making it clearer on how they work and easier routes to do them. So coming up here, we're just going to run up here. You can place the rally if you'd like, however it shouldn't matter, but if you don't have your grapple you might as well. So once we place the rally, try not to do what I do here. You actually need to go around the boss. I go straight under him, but it turns out he actually really respects and values his personal space as he just completely annihilates me out of existence. So don't do that. So run around the boss. I actually didn't know that he would kill you unless you killed his Minotaur or started the encounter. Just behind him there are a few rocks. We're just going to cross this gap with a grapple. You can also do it with a sword, but if you're using grapple, we might as well make it useful. Just coming up here, up on this little ledge, you can grapple up there now, but if you don't have your grapple yet, you can either wait or you can come over here, jump on this little ledge, and we're just going to like jump onto that little pole right there and then just around the corner so that we don't have to use our grapple. But if you'd like to just wait for the grapple to recharge, that'll be a lot easier. Just running along this wall here. If you already know the basic route, then you'll know that we're just going to keep running forward along these flower patches. I'm just going to speed it up because it's just running in a straight line. Up ahead is the part where a lot of people have some difficulty with. So I'm going to be making that a lot easier for you guys and explaining how it works so that you guys can have a better understanding on why we're doing what we're doing to get past these barriers. So running along this tree trunk here, jumping up onto this Vex circuitry, there's going to be a barrier up there, which I'll show in just a second. So my previous videos, I said to just jump over this barrier, which in hindsight probably not the best tip, but as you can see you can't just jump into the barrier. I'm spamming jump, it won't let me. So we're going to pull out our sword. We're just going to stand on this Vex circuitry here, bottom left, jump and swing. That's all you need to do. So stand on the bottom left corner of this like Vex circuitry, jump and swing. It'll work every time. Once we're up here, we're just going to jump down to this little platform. Now this part a lot of people have trouble with, just follow exactly what I do. Otherwise, if you mess it up, if you fall down there too early and hit a loading zone, just run back to the tree trunk area before that barrier and you have to restart. So, jumping along here, do not fall down, along this wall, and once we reach here, we're just going to jump as far out as we can. Now, the reason we do that is because we're trying to run past a loading barrier. If we hit that loading barrier, it's going to load the zone below us and we can't get in to where the first secret chest is. So we've just gone past that loading barrier there, and now we're in this area where we can actually see down under. If you hit the loading barrier, you can't see down there. In that little gap there between the black and the white, we're just going to jump down, jump, swing, onto that leaf. You can also just grapple. I don't know why I even used the sword. Grappling will be a lot easier, but let's just say you fall down, you can just grapple to the leaf. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you end up on that leaf there. Now, jumping up onto these, We're just going to grapple onto that LED light up there. And we're just going to wait for my grapple to get back. This part's pretty simple. Now, once we grapple up here, we're going to hit a loading zone, and one of three things is going to happen. Either we're going to turn into a ghost orb, which if so, we're going to respawn as fast as possible. Or we're going to die, and then if so, we're just going to respawn like normal. Or we're going to hit the loading zone, and it's just going to load us and then fall us back down into this area here, which is completely fine. If you turn into the ghost orb but can't respawn, you're going to have to restart the whole thing, and it's because you didn't respawn fast enough. So, after we've done that, pretty simple, just go to our first chest. Just running along here, along this tree trunk. Pretty simple from here to get to the first chest. Just along this leaf. There's just a hole in this wall here, and our first chest is right there. You can either use the sword, or you can use the elevator that's right there. Either one works as long as you can get into here, and there's your first chest. Just like that. Once we've got it, we can backtrack towards the first loading zone that we went through. Just over here, pretty simple. I'm going to speed it up just because it's, pretty generic stuff. This is in 2x speed just in case you need to slow it down. As well as most other sped up parts in all of my videos are usually in 2x speed. So on YouTube, if you put it in 0.5x speed, then it should just be normal again. Just coming along here, through the circuitry. Any route works as long as you get to the very end. Coming through here, sort of labyrinth kind of area. There'll be this big tree with some red glow around it. That's the tree that you need to get to right here. So, once we're here, just a lot more running, nothing special. While I'm running in a straight line, I'd like to mention that this is my 4th time recording this audio because of birds in my background, which is pretty miserable, and I am quite sick of talking. However, these birds are completely ruining my video, and I guess they knew I was recording because it has just been constant yap from these birds. You can actually hear it towards the start of the video where I didn't replace the audio. So yeah, it's pretty great living in Australia. But once we get to this wall, there's going to be 2 ways to do this. So the first way, we're going to go to collections. I'm going to show both ways, by the way, just in case. But you're going to go to collections, exotic, power, and we're going to go pull out Galahorn. Right here, and not enough space. Beautiful. So, getting Galahorn from our collections, or any low velocity rocket launcher, by the way, will work just as fine. We're going to aim up in the sky. Do not aim down sight. Just hip fire. We're going to shoot the rocket, grapple, and that's it. Shoot the rocket and then grapple. And we're going to hold our grapple till we get to the top of the wall, just like that. Congratulations, you've just rocket grappled. It's a lot easier than it looks. But if you don't have Galahorn or you don't want to do that, here's the normal route. We're just going to grapple onto these ledges along the wall. I use my super just to get my grapple back, by the way. It's not necessary at all. Just grappling again onto these ledges. You can replay the video if you'd like to see exactly where these ledges are. This part can be quite tricky. Just like so. All of these time skips, by the way, are just me waiting for my grapple, because I figured no one really needs to sit here for 20 minutes watching me wait for my grapple to recharge. One more grapple and we should be at the top. And just like that. So, whether you rocket grappled or did it the normal way, we're going to be at the top of this wall, and we need to get to the very end where there's this big pit. So, in front of us is a turn back zone, but we can jump over that turn back zone to get to the very end over there. So we're just going to run forward, do big jumps, and utilize our grapple to get over that turn back area and towards that pit over there. So as you can see, turn back area, I'm going to grapple over it. It'll reset my turn back timer, and I'm going to dive into this pit. Now it was very close, but if you have more than 20 mobility, you can actually just use your jump to get over the turn back area and not have to use your grapple. So it makes it a lot easier, but that is probably the hardest part of this entire thing. Now I'm going to speed this part up because this is just the normal raid kind of route that we take just to get to the next chest. Pretty straightforward line. At this point there's no more out of bounds, no more fancy tech. You can probably figure out where to go normally, but while we just run through this in 2x speed, this is the easiest way I've found to do this without using a checkpoint. Now you can use a checkpoint bot, but from my previous videos I've kind of learned that Most Destiny players don't want to do that. So you can load into the game every weekly reset, spend 8 minutes or so just doing this each week. It's what I like to do. I mean, it's free loot, right? Why wouldn't you? It's pretty simple, no checkpoint, just load in, you know. Once you get this down, you can probably do it in about 5 minutes each week. 15 minutes on it, you know, all 3 characters. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And for anyone asking, I have a lot of comments about it. This raid will give you any raid loot that you haven't obtained, so you don't need to do any of the encounters and you will get new raid loot. So guns and armor without having to do any encounters. So I really recommend this raid. Just doing this each week on all 3 characters. It's very simple and it gets very, very easy the more you do it. I've done this way too many times at this point. It takes like 5 minutes. But that's it. There's your second chest. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video, which hopefully won't be a Garden of Salvation chest video, but at this point it probably will be. Thank you to all my channel members, and I'll see you in the next video.